Now we'll do lesson 9 in the SEL curriculum. What is the purpose of this lesson? The purpose of this lesson is for you to process how your historical and intergenerational trauma may affect your reactions and behaviors in the present. In this lesson, you will be able to define and identify historical trauma, and then determine how to use the knowledge of your past to better your experiences in the future. The learning target for this lesson are: 1, I can identify what intergenerational trauma is and how it can affect individuals, families, and communities in different ways. 2, I can begin to explore and understand my own intergenerational trauma. So this lesson is really about a lot of your history, but also about knowing your history in order for you to think about how it will affect your present and your future. So why do you think this learning matters? Why is it important at this point for you to sit down and really think about that so that you can move forward? And that's what you will write here. Then take a look at the agenda. In the agenda, you'll see it's not a very long one, not a very long list of things in this agenda, so it might not take you a lot of time to complete this lesson. The vocabulary words that are important to know and to be familiar with for this lesson are trauma, intergenerational trauma, and collective experiences. These words will come up in a couple of different places in this lesson. Review the definition of intergenerational trauma to start and become familiar with it. Okay? And after you've looked at the definition of intergenerational trauma, we've put a bookmark here that you can use, and there's also intergenerational trauma defined here. We want you to check out one of these 2 videos. There are 2 videos about intergenerational trauma. One is a personal story, and one is about a group of people and their experience with intergenerational trauma. And this will help you to get a good idea of what it is. After you've seen the video, just take a few minutes, think about what you've seen, think about your reactions. What are some things that you learned from the video? Just take some time to reflect on it and just write down your own personal thoughts about what you just saw in the video here. Then for the next step, you will pair with someone, and the person that you pair with can be anybody, just any person that you'll be able to talk to. It could be someone that's in the room with you at the time. If you want, it could be the teacher that's in the room at the time, any staff member. It could be a counselor. You can call someone in your family, a sibling, anyone. So just reach out to someone, and then once you have connected with that person, you want to make sure that you're able to actually watch the video with that person and talk about what intergenerational traumas you were able to see in the video, and then how the intergenerational trauma impacted the future generations that were represented in the video. Then we want to make sure that we are fully understanding of what this word mean. What is intergenerational trauma? Write your response in this box. What do you think, in your own words? How would you define intergenerational trauma? After that, now you'll have to take some time to look at your own personal experience with these words, intergenerational trauma. So can you identify experiences that you've had that are connected to intergenerational trauma. And then you're going to go ahead and use the prompts below to help you to make the connection between your own experiences and intergenerational trauma. If you feel comfortable, you can share or discuss the story with someone in a safe place that you trust. But you should know that you have the option of doing this part by yourself. You do not have to do this with another person. So if you want to find a safe place, a quiet place, if you're at home and you want to just go in your bedroom, or if you want to go to a bathroom and close the door and be able to really think about your experiences, take the time to do that. It's almost like a meditation. So make sure you're in a safe place and a place that you feel comfortable and that you have the support that you need. Remember that if you want to, you can reach out to anyone in our community to support you through this process. And here is a resource of people that you can reach out to and make contact with at Foresight to help you with this process. So here are the things that you'll think about in your quiet space. Here are a list of things that you want to say to yourself. First, and you want to say these things out loud, declare them, so that you can hear your voice as you're saying and processing these things, okay? So talk about what happened first, then what happened, and the way that you responded when it happened, afterwards what happened, and how do you think it affected you? And since then, what did you learn about it? And now, what do you think and how do you feel about it? Okay, so after you've done this process, then move on to step 6. And step 6 is just simply reflecting on the whole process of just visualizing and processing and thinking and then speaking your truth and speaking your story. And in step 6, all we want you to do is think about how it felt to do that. If you did it with someone, if you said something to a person for the very first time about an experience that you had, how did that make you feel? What came up for you during that process? Do you feel any different afterwards? And it might be a simple thing as just feeling closer to the person that you shared with. Write your response in the box here, in this box, and then you're done. That's the exercise. One last thing that we want you to do is to just check that you were able to meet all of the learning targets. Check off all the X's in the boxes here. And then, think again about if you were able to meet all the learning targets. But if you were not able to, what would you need to continue to push your learning in this lesson? And then if you decide later you want to talk to somebody or reach out to someone, that's also really wonderful. So take the time to reflect on all the things that you've gone through and all the things that you've just done. Check it off to make sure you met the learning targets, and then you can move on to lesson 10.